Hey guys, welcome back. It's Andrea from Create a Canvas. I don't know about you, but summertime makes me feel like eating fruit. And so I eat lots of fruit. I keep my fridge stocked with fruit, and it's inspiring and fun to draw and paint also. So today we're going to do a still life type drawing, meaning we're going to look at a picture or look at something and draw it on our paper. But then we're also going to turn it into kind of a stained glass activity. So you're going to need a couple things today. You can use my fruit to look at, or you can find fruit at your own house to use as inspiration. You're going to need a white piece of drawing paper and a pencil. I'll be drawing in black marker so you can see, but you draw in pencil. You're going to need either watercolor paint or acrylic paint. It's up to you how you want to do this activity. I'm going to be using watercolor, but if you have acrylic paint at home, it makes it a little bit more bright and vibrant and colorful. You could also, moms, have your kids do this on a canvas, and it would be really cute to hang in your kitchen or in their playroom. So let's get started. We're going to draw out our fruit bowl first, and then we'll start painting it in and do the stained glass part of it. So first thing you're going to need is your paper and your pencil. And when we draw things that are sitting on something, we always have to put them on a horizon line. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a line straight across our paper at the bottom. And that's like the table that the bowl is sitting on. Okay, so what kind of fruits did you find around your house? Curious to see what kind of fruit. If you were going to make a smoothie, what kind of fruit do you like to put in it? All right, so now we're going to put our bowl in. And you can see the bowl, if you look at the outside of its shape, it's kind of like a smile. So if you draw a smile on your line, you'll have the beginning shape of a bowl. Easy. Then we need to give the edge of the bowl a line, and then we can see all the fruit on top of it. But there's an illusion to this line. So what we're going to do, it's not going to go straight across. It's going to have a little bit of a curve down, like a smaller smile, a little bit curved. Now, in my house, I have lots of fruit. So I found an orange, I found a lemon, I found a lime, I found strawberries, I found an old banana that needs to get eaten today or it won't get eaten, and I found an apple. What I didn't find is one of my favorite fruits, which is a pineapple. Probably because I ate it already. So the first thing we're going to draw in our fruit basket, just because they're fun to draw and they take up a lot of space, and we have a lot of space to fill up here, is we're going to put a pineapple in the background of our piece of art first. So what you're going to draw is you're going to draw kind of like a half circle or a upside down, like it could be a sad face, it could be an upside down U, but that's the shape of our pineapple. And let's go ahead and let's give him some diagonal lines going one way, and we're going to put some diagonal lines going the other way. Now he needs some leaves on top. So we're going to do a frown and a smile, a frown and a smile, and they all come from the same point on top. I start all my leaves from the same point on the pineapple's head. This is like his hair. And you can draw as many leaves on top of your pineapple as you want. Or as few, but he does need some leaves. Do you guys know how to drop or grow pineapples? They're very interesting. And I didn't know this until I lived in Hawaii. But if you go to the grocery store and you get yourself a pineapple, and if you cut off the top part and replant this top part in a pot with some soil, in 2 years, it takes 2 years to grow one baby pineapple. But a pineapple will grow out of the stems and you'll have a little baby pineapple in there. So try that and let me know in 2 years what your pineapple tastes like. Okay, so we have our pineapple. Now we're going to draw some generic fruit. We don't have to decide right now what they are, but we're going to put some circles down underneath here. So we're going to connect the bottom of our pineapple and turn it into a circle. We're going to put another circle over here. And I can overlap just a little bit, especially you, because you're using pencil and you can erase things. I'm going to put another circle over here. It's hidden behind that circle a little bit, so it's a little bit smaller. So those can all be apples, oranges, lemons, limes. You can even do, let's do a small, like an oval-y shape up here. That can be a lemon or a lime. All right, what about some grapes? Grapes are fun. Grapes are fun and easy to draw, so we're going to fill up a little space over here with some little circles. And all our little circles touch each other like a bunch of grapes would. We'll have a couple hanging down over our orange or apple. And how about a banana? Let's put a banana back here. So we need to draw a curved line and make a little square on top. It's almost like there's a string coming out from those two pieces of fruit, and put a little curve or square, and then on the other side of your square you're going to do another line. And then you can put a line in the middle to make it look like a banana. Okay, now I feel like I need more fruit up here. This bowl of fruit is going to get big. I'm going to put another circle up here, or it could be, you could do like a cherry or a strawberry, you decide. That'll probably be a strawberry. So if I have a strawberry over here, put a strawberry over here. On the top of a strawberry, just a few little lines on top. Okay, so can you think of any other fruit to add in your bowl that you want to add in? Make sure it fits in the bowl. You could always have a piece of fruit sitting down on the table, like it's fallen out of the bowl or it's waiting to get eaten. So now what we're going to do before we start painting is, because this is a stained glass type activity and we're going to go over all our black lines with black paint at the end, what I want you guys to do is from the edges of your pineapple or your bowl, you're going to kind of break up, pretend you're creating a puzzle. And you're breaking up this sky area into little pieces by doing lines. You could use a ruler if you want to. You don't have to. And we're just breaking this up into broken, pretend this is broken pieces of glass or puzzle pieces. I'm just making little sections on my outside, kind of like a pattern. So now it looks could be like a mosaic, it could be stained glass, it could be so many different things. If you want to do the same thing on the bottom, you can do the same thing in the bottom, and you're doing this with pencil, but eventually you're going to paint over these lines with black. Or if you feel better later on, another thing you can do, once it's all completely dry and your paper is completely dry, you can use a Sharpie, a thick Sharpie, and you can go over all your lines, or a black marker if you don't want to do the painting. All right, so now we're ready for the fun part. So I'm going to get my paint ready. I have a cup of water. You always need a cup of water, no matter what kind of paint you're using. I'm going to be using watercolor paints. So I have nice big variety of colors I can use, and let me bring my bowl of fruit back in the picture so we have some color inspiration. Get rid of that ugly dying banana. We need a little bit of lime. Trying to get all the colors in the screen so you can be inspired. Look at that lime. See, most people would just pick a regular green, but it's very, very yellowy. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to paint our table and we're going to paint our background. So you want to get a nice big paintbrush, And what you're going to do, and you can do this right on top of your pencil, you're going to be able to see it if you're using watercolor. If you're doing acrylic marker or acrylic paint, you're going to want a marker first so you can see your lines through your paint. But if you're using watercolor, you'll be able to see your pencil. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint water all over our background first. You can do the table and around the bowl of fruit, going right up to the edges of your fruit. Painting with water, that's crazy, but it's a technique. It's called wet on wet watercolor. Because watercolor is wet, our paper is wet, it helps the color bleed and blend into each other. All right, so I'm going to pick a color for my background. I'm going to pick a blue. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint my whole, we'll call this the wall, behind my bowl of fruit with this color blue, or whatever color you decide. But you have to be really careful to go around all your fruits, go right up to the edges, because later on you're not going to want to go back and touch things up. So doing your background is kind of important because it saves you time later. Okay, so I'm going to get blue all over my background. I'm going around my fruit and around my bowl, not going into it. And because my paper was wet when I first started, my watercolor is going on really nicely and smoothly, and it starts filling gaps kind of for me because the paper is bleeding, the watercolor is bleeding into the paper. Or running. Okay. So you're probably still painting your background, so keep painting your background. Pause me when you need to. I'm just going to go down onto my table. So when you're ready, done with your background, figure out which color you want to make your table down here. I'm going to make mine brown. I'm just going to go right on top. That's the next step. So if you're still in your in the sky part, keep working on the background, then go down to the table. Okay. It's coming together. Okay. Now I'm going to do my bowl. So I'm going to do my bowl blue, but it's going to be a different color blue than the one I just used because the bowl that I have, and I actually made this bowl, is like a turquoise color. So I'm going to find, and usually in watercolor palettes, there are different colors of blue. So I'm going to find a different color blue, and I'm going to do my bowl. You can make your bowl any color you want, but just remember what colors you're going to make your fruit, because you don't want your bowl to be too similar to your fruit colors or it's all going to kind of blend together. I'm also in this, if you have any gaps down here at the bottom, you can make it the color of the bowl. Okay, so when I paint with watercolor, I like to paint with my lightest colors first, and then I start getting darker, because sometimes it's hard to clean your brush a lot. When you're watercoloring, you have to wash your brush every single time. If you're using acrylic paint, you don't really have to do that. But with watercolor paint, you have to wash a lot. So I like to start light so I don't start mixing my colors too much. So I'm going to start with my favorite fruit, my pineapple. And I'm going to get some yellow and a little teeny bit of orange. So it's a bright, bold yellow pineapple. Since I don't have any more yellow to do, I can wash my brush, and that's one of the things. Oh, I do have yellow. What else do I have to make yellow? What fruit on there is going to be yellow? The banana. Okay, so I'm going to make my banana a little bit different color yellow than this so they don't look like the same fruit. I'm going to make it just plain yellow this time, not put the orange in. My yellow. And the cool thing, another reason I start light is because if I go into any of my other pieces of fruit, I know that a darker color will cover this up, so I'm not too worried about going outside of my lines right now. Okay, next I'm going to do light green. So a lime green. So if you don't have lime green in your pastel palette, that's funny that there's an actual color of lime green. If you don't have a lime green in your watercolor palette, excuse me, you can mix yellow and green together. It'll make lime green. I have a lime. I think that the green on the tops of my strawberries is going to be a little bit darker than this green, and also I want to have a couple different greens in my pineapple hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this lime green on just a couple, maybe every other one. And then since I already have green in my brush, I'm going to pick up darker green now. And I'm going to go through and do the other parts of the hair of my pineapple. And I'm also, while I have this green on my brush, see, work smarter, not harder. I plan ahead a little bit. I'm going to do the greens on top of my strawberries. And I'll put a little bit in the top of my banana. And I don't think there's any more green that I need to put in. Think about it before you move on. Is there any other of that color that you're going to have to do? Okay, I don't think so. Next, I'm going to go on to orange. So because I have green in my brush, I need to wash. So I'm going to wash my brush really well and dry it. And then I'm going to pick up some orange watercolor and I'm going to do my orange. I'm actually going to make 2 oranges because my strawberries are already red, so I don't want too much red in my painting. And I'm going to do an apple, so that one will be red too. So I'm going to do 2 oranges. I'm going to do 1 on each side. Don't trip. And remember, the more water you use, the lighter your paint's going to be. And the less water you use, the darker it's going to be. This orange, I used a little less water and it's a little bit darker than that orange, so they look different, but they're the same type of fruit. You guys won't have the problem of dripping because you're not holding your pictures up there. Yours should be flat. All right, I have orange in my brush. I need to wash it off before I get my red. And I'm going to get a nice bright red for my apple. And red for my strawberries. And I had a different color red in my palette, so I used a different color red, but I didn't wash because I was close enough in color. But I didn't need to. Okay. So do all your red sections. I could add a little touch of this other color red into my apple. Okay. Last but not least, the darkest color we're going to use is purple for our grapes. Or I guess you could make your grapes the light green, like green grapes, but I like a lot of bright colors, so I'm going to make mine purple. Okay, so you guys keep painting all your fruit. If you added more fruit in, keep making your fruit bright and beautiful. Then when you're all done, if you didn't already Sharpie, because you're using acrylic, you're going to go through and with a smaller brush, you're going to use your black paint. You can use black watercolor or black acrylic for this part. If you don't want to paint it, like I said earlier, you can Sharpie it after it's completely dry. Get a big Sharpie and go over all your lines. But what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you're going to go around all your lines with black paint and create your puzzle or stained glass. Now, doing this kind of art, the puzzles or stained glass, I like to give people the idea. If you ever have a present or a birthday card or something that you need to make for someone, made presents are always the best. Everyone knows that. But A fun activity you can do for someone is make them a picture like this and then cut it all up into smaller pieces. You could even write a message like happy birthday to the best mom ever. Cut it all up into a bunch of pieces and give it to them in an envelope. And then they have to put your hidden message slash art piece together. And so it's fun for them, it's creative, and they have something that you worked hard and thought of specifically for them. They'll love it. So that's an idea that you can do for a present for someone, is make them a puzzle card. All right, so keep creating. I'll see you guys soon, and send me your pictures. We'll put them in the gallery. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.